If the suppressor's cold, the Yodel fold. Hey guys, it's been a little bit of time since I've been on here last. Season's been kind of crazy. As you can see behind me, I won several first place trophies in TAC. And before you guys that are like, TAC is a sandbagging trophy, I also came in second and third place overall in those matches. So it's been a very, very busy PRS season. And now gets time to what I really love, which is varmint season. So I picked up at our local Sportsman's Warehouse some varminter 110 grain bullets for 308. And I happen to find in my collection of reloading supplies, always pick up powder you don't think that you might need. Don't hoard it, but pick up something like this benchmark powder. I picked it up for some light 223 work. And go figure, there's actually reloading data for it. So we are going to give her a try today. I'm going to start a little bit differently than most people because I'm going to start with the max charge and work my way back. It's just a little easier for me, especially in this format. We are going to go on our auto trickler, go in the app, and we're going to start off with 50.2. So 50.2 should start up here. And we're going to jump back in 2/10 grain increments and see what we can see. I like to do the Satterley style testing, but I do 2 strings of fire because I don't trust the data all the time. Sometimes you'll find a node that you think's a node and then come to find out later that it's not. And I am also using my SAC die, Short Action Customs. This is probably the sexiest cedar die that you can possibly buy. It's a little expensive, but you know, in this game, I consider it worth it. All right, so 50.18. That's good enough. Let's see. Not sure if you can see it or not, but it is just at the edge of that powder. So that's definitely going to be compressed. With my app, just subtract a 1/10 each time. And we're going to go like gangbusters. I shouldn't do this on brand new brass, but I got a shitload of it. See if I can do this one-handed because it's so the problem here is how filled this case is. I'm going to show you here. It's filled up just about to the brim. So we're going to put our cartridge there. And the tricky part is getting this little guy in. So gonna have to support it like that while pushing the ram up. Aha. Nice and slow. Managed to do this one-handed. There we go. All right, guys. So I'm working on the last 2 bullets to seat. And let me tell you, my dies do really not like these little 110s. They have to be kind of perfectly in line, which on a flat base bullet is not really fun. But we're at 48.4, and we're working our way up to 50.2 grains of powder as per the Hodgson's website. So that is it for our ladder test. I have 2 rows of the same exact charge weight, and that way we can basically spot check to make sure that I'm not going crazy. And to show you, It's just easier to bring this up. I've got 2 lines of the same exact powder charge. So we are going to go out to the range tomorrow and see what we can see. We'll start off. Now, it's going to be a nice slow fire because I really don't know what speeds we're going to achieve, and more importantly, pressure signs that we're going to have to look out for. So, without much further ado, let's start shooting. Oh, all right, so I got a small steel target down there, the 200. Well, that's way faster than I thought I was going to achieve. See now, 33.15. That just proves to me what I've been thinking of the entire time, which is that my Bartline barrel seems to be very, very fast compared to other barrels out there. Still no pressure sign, which is really great. We'll let that cool off. I'm going to write down that data and then I'll get right back to you. With our second set here, now that she's cooled down significantly. Gonna go back to the bench, check out these numbers, and see where we're at. Well, first thing that you'll notice is that hold on. Okay. I'm wearing the same shirt, and that is because it's the holiday, and I just don't feel like getting any more shirts dirty when all I've done is literally go to the range. So, I'm not sure if you can see this here, but these primers look pretty good overall. They are exhibiting very, very little primer flattening and very little in the way of cratering. So, those are good to go. Velocity-wise is up here. Over here, what I found is there's 3 good nodes. So I've already loaded up 3 solid nodes, 5-round groups that we're going to shoot. Maybe tomorrow, possibly the next day. I do need good weather for at least the paper to not be wet when I shoot it. So we will make our way over to the range in the next few days and see where we're at. So I'm trying to just get some decent groups to see what my what powder charges does that bullet really like. So I have my 3 charges. I'm not looking to like center punch. I'm just trying to see if that's going to group well or not, if I have to adjust my seating depth or not. I kind of don't really have much option with these 110 grains, but we're going to put this out at 100 yards, see what our velocities are and our groups. So I'm also aware that I got my magneto speed on, so the groups might open up a little bit. But what I've noticed is I tend to get better groups with the magneto speed attached to my suppressor. But we'll see today. All right, here we go. We're at the velocity node that I picked up, 32.98. $32.97. $32.80. A little slow. $32.70. Huh. Not what I was expecting. $33.19 to round it out. Now, I'll show you the group downrange here in a minute, but holy crap. I'm not sure if it's my setup or what, but Jesus, that is a great group. So even though the velocities are kind of wonky, I mean, for a hunting load, that's plenty, but we'll see. That is our first 5-round group. That's with our lowest powder charge. I'm thinking that's a winner, but we'll see what the other groups do. I just happened to get lucky on that seating depth, so we're gonna go through the other 2 loads once the barrel cools off, see where we're at. $33.85. $33.89. $329. $330. Not impressed with this group. $33.14. So we got an extreme spread of like 90. You can see that there. Okay, not 90, but whew. Yeah, about 74, 75 extreme spread. That's not going to do. And the groups opened up significantly. So I'm not a fan of that. I mean, it's still MOA, but yeah, I'm not a fan. So we're waiting another few minutes and see what the last group will give us. All right, last group in the series. All right, so that charge wasn't bad, but still the groups weren't that great. Checking out here. Yeah, we could have done a little bit better, but is what it is. That would still be a completely useful group, but I'm getting a little bit of heavy bolt lift. So we're gonna call it a day. You can see here, this is the heaviest charge. This is the middleweight node, and this is the lowest node. It happens to be that the lowest node is what we're probably going to go with here. It's got a little bit of wonkiness with the SD and the extreme spread, but harmonics wise, that load is a lot more stable than this load. So go back to the bench here and talk about it. All right, so we're back and got some numbers for you. With that lowest charge, we're talking an extreme spread of 49 and an SD of 18.8. Not horrendous, but we could do better. However, with the barrel harmonics, it produces a really good group. And quite frankly, for something like a Coyote load where you're only shooting out to 300 yards, it's plenty. The middle charge that we chose was an atrocious 75 feet per second extreme spread and 35 SD, which is that's unshootable. And you noticed with the groups, you're at like an inch and a half. So the top node was the best node. Unfortunately, I started getting some pressure signs when I started shooting 5-round groups. I had a bolt lift that felt like my bolt was camming over a little bit too much. But it had an extreme spread of only 30 and an SD of 13.4. So I loaded up the lowest node because it seems to be the most accurate. So what we're going to do again is go out there and shoot. This time though, these are once fired brass. Now, in a lot of circles, and I kind of agree with it, they tell you to never ever do a ladder charge test with virgin brass. And that's because this shoulder right here, and on my chamber, that shoulder has to grow a hair over 5 thou to fit my chamber. So all that energy is being wasted as the brass is expanding. These are all bumped back only 2 thou from the neck, and it's also full length sized. You can see me here, this Redding Type S die. It's a full length sizer with a bushing on it, so you can control how much you bump it, your neck tension, and full length sizing. So we went ahead and annealed all these pieces of brass after we cleaned them and resized them. I did find one that was a little bit funky. I think my amp annealer might have over annealed this. Yeah, right there. You can see the neck. For some reason, it has a bunch of flat spots. However, the very next piece of brass that we sized was completely fine. So we got quite a few rounds here that we can shoot and see how she does group wise. I'm looking forward to this because once I shoot these, I should have a really good idea of what these loads will look like. Guess we'll go out to the range and check these out too. I'm gonna put this little guy right here, and I know most likely my point of impact is gonna be right there, which is fine, but I like having a bright orange or green dot to aim at instead of these black dots, because if you're in a floating dot, kind of difficult to aim at. That's interesting. Very interesting cold bore shot that was almost dead center on the dot. However, that's not what I'm looking for. Groups, pretty fantastic. Sub MOA. All right, now we're gonna let her cool. All right, guys. So we had barely a snippet here, and then a nice 4-shot group up here. For a 5-shot group, I call that good. Now we're going to go out to 300 yards, get some velocities, and see how consistent our once fired brass is. And I know a lot of you guys are going to ask why I'm shooting high, and that's because I'm simulating a 200-yard zero, which means basically point of aim all the way out to about 250-ish yards should be about, I think, a half a mil at 300. So that way I'm pretty much not going to have to touch my scope during coyote season. Well, that was totally disappointing. So that load, while it groups great, which means it has good barrel harmonics, is an extreme spread of 106 now, and an SD of 41.4. So, what do you guys think? You think I should go shoot some more, try to adjust the load, or just send it? Because I'm only hunting out to probably 150 yards at most. I think it'll be adequate. Bullets are screaming, and I don't know. I think it'll be a half decent coyote round. It's nothing like my Barnes TSX bullets that I used for deer hunting. That put a doe down really good. In fact, I'll throw a photo in here of our hunting season. She ran maybe 20 yards. The blood trail was insane on her. So yeah, I'm kind of at an impasse right now with these loads. The other thing too is I'm using CCI military primers, so I'm not sure if that's throwing things off. These are also large rifle primers, which I usually don't mess with. I'm usually running, small rifle primers. There we go. That's a good image of how much bigger the large primers are. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to go out in the field New Year's, see what I can see. If you've liked this info, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to pump a few more videos out here this year. Competition season has been crazy last year. I think I did 15 matches. So till then, I'll see you guys later.